Hey, this is Danielle over at DIYDanielle.com, and today I want to show you how to make your own SVGs the easiest way possible. If you can't draw and you don't have expensive programs like the Adobe Suite, this is the way to do it. You do need a Canva account. I'll share a link to that program in the in my blog post and also in the description for my YouTube video. But here we go. So the first thing you want to do is go up here and click Create a Design. In this case, I'm using 12 by 12 inches. You can choose pixels or millimeters, whatever you want, but 12 by 12 is the size of a Cricut mat. So this gives me just a good baseline. However, when you upload the design, when you're finished to Cricut, it's not going to show up 12 by 12. You're going to have to resize once it transfers over. Not a big deal, but this just, I like to look at it because I know that's the mat size. So at this point, you can go through and do whatever you want to design your image, and you can use any of their elements. Now, of course, you can't use just anything. It's not going to print, Cricut's not going to print your photos. It's just not, it doesn't work like that. So you do have to understand a little bit about your Cricut machine. Hopefully by the time you get to this video, you know enough to understand that concept. Remember that certain things print better on, or cut better on Cricut. Something like this wolf right here will do pretty well. It's a nice strong outline. So it should cut just fine. If you pick something like this, you're gonna, this would be really complicated. So just remember that when you're doing this. Now you could certainly change this. You might be able to mess around with this a little bit and turn it into, you know, make some of this white and make it easier to cut, but we're not going to get into that level of detail. Same thing with this. This has some shading. Again, you could make it work, but we're looking at real simple designs for those of us who are new to making SVGs and doing any sort of design work, graphic design work. So for most of your graphic design work, for making SVGs as a beginner, you're going to want to stick with elements and text. You can choose to search for a horse, find yourself a nice simple horse picture, kangaroos, whatever you want to do, and just, you know, go with it. It's good to have a little bit of an idea what you want to do before you start. Now, the next thing you can use is text. They give you some ideas of font combinations that I love. I think that's really helpful. I hate picking fonts on Cricut. It is so slow to like switch between them and figure out what will look good. So this gives me, I don't know, I just find this way easier. And they have some titles and headings that go together that make it a little easier as well. However, you can always just click add a heading and you can go ahead and switch your fonts. And they have tons of different fonts you can choose from. As you can see, there's scripts and big bubble letters and all that other good stuff. Now, you need to kind of think about your end product when you're doing this, because there are times when using a nice big font is great. And then there's other times, like when you're etching or writing with a pen, that you really want just a simple, thin font like this. And I can't say for sure how this would cut, but I do try to think about that when I'm selecting fonts. Generally, for what I do, I like using permanent vinyl, removable vinyl, and also using HTV for shirts and such. I'm using one of these bigger fonts that can cut easily. Otherwise, yeah, trying to cut a script font is very difficult unless it's large. Okay, so I can go ahead and add whatever I want here. And next I'm going to show you, well, first I'm going to go and actually fix this design because I'm not happy with it yet. But once I'm done that, I am going to show you how to download it. Now, when you're doing your editing, there's a lot of options you can choose. You can group items together. You can also adjust, you can change everything to uppercase or lowercase by clicking on a button, underline. I mean, obviously that might not work well for Cricut. But you can change your letter, how smushed your letters are together, and also your line height. So I use the line height one a lot. There's also some effects, but I don't know how some of them would work with Cricut Design Space. So there's a lot of different options, and you can add your file name here. You can, if you have like I believe the business plan, you can like share it and like everyone can work on it in your company, which is pretty neat. It's pretty helpful, but I think most of us are just using it for personal use. Okay, so let's say I want to duplicate this and make a different one that only references one child. So I can go ahead and delete that. You can even change the word child. Let's move that there. And I can duplicate it again, and I can change the FERAL can be down here instead. So you can actually export several SVGs at once, which is pretty convenient. Okay, so once you have your designs figured out, I've got my 4 designs here. You can click download. As you can see, you have a bunch of different options here. You need to click it. Now, PNGs, JPEGs, those are just normal photos. PNGs tend to be a little bit higher quality. PDF standard, you're looking at, you know, a multi-page document, marketing proposal, blah, blah, blah. PDF print, same thing, higher quality. Really good if you were doing a presentation or printing out your portfolio for a job interview, that sort of thing. But you can also do MP4s and GIFs, but we're looking at SVGs, of course, so go ahead and click that. I use my transparent background and I click download. Occasionally, it will not save. If so, you have to click this button here, but not a big deal. It did save, and it'll be in my downloads folder. And here it is. And I can now upload these as SVGs to Cricut Design Space. Okay, so first you have to actually oh, I have so many things. You have to go through and actually unzip or extract this. So extract the file and then go back. Sorry about my voice. I have some sort of cold or allergies or something. It's not corona though, because I checked. I'm wondering, can I just pick one? Yeah, I can just pick one. Okay, so I'm gonna pick number 4. I think that was the one. Yeah, I like this one the best. So as you can see, it did a pretty good job of importing this. Click upload, click it, insert the image. And this is not going to be perfect. And I'm not really sure how this �ฑ𝐢𝐤𝐞 font and the Feral font will come out, but I'm going to give it a try because I like it. First of all, these are all grouped together when they import in. You're going to want to ungroup those. You'll need to regroup them again at some point, but you just want to kind of, I don't know. First of all, this is a different color. Oh no. Okay, so this is a different color than the rock, and I'm actually going to weld those together because those don't need to be separate. So there's going to be some little finicky things you're going to have to adjust. The other finicky thing is, for some reason, it saves like all these little pieces of the fur. I can't figure out why it did that, and I don't think there's a way to really fix it before exporting, so I just go ahead and delete those. Not a problem. I don't know what any of that is. Okay, so all of this I do want to group together and attach because I really don't like I don't like having to place each word or each letter separate. I did that when I first got, I actually had a Silhouette before I had a Cricut, and I did that for so many, it was ridiculous. So I don't recommend that. It's not really that much fun. So this is a different color, so you don't want to combine them. They're going to be cut on different sheets. You're going to have to cut your gray and your your black separate. So again, these are attached, and then this will be separate. However, you want to put them all together because you will need to resize first. Now, as you can see, this design was all created on a 12 by 12 inch mat or whatever in Canva, and it is not the same size up here. It's 12.633 by 11.889. So it doesn't transfer exactly right. So if you want it to be a certain size, go ahead and adjust that. In this case, I'm going to adjust the width to 11.5. And that should give me a decent thing here. So, okay, so one more thing before you finish and go ahead and cut it with your machine. You want to make sure you weld all of the letters on any words together. So you just select the words you're doing and click weld. Now, I accidentally did it all together while it's grouped, in which case it sometimes fills in parts of the letter. So don't do that. And you really only need to do that for the script fonts. So just keep that in mind. That's pretty important. I can click my my machine. I have a maker and a joy, but in this case we're using the maker. And I can click make it. Now I want to use this on a bag. So I'm going to mirror the image, and I'm going to mirror this image. And then I am going to go in the other room, turn my machine on, and set this up to cut iron-on vinyl. Okay, so that's all there is to it. As you can see, I cut these and then weeded away any excess, and I'm ready to press them on. I'm not going to get into that. You can check out my other blog post and video post about applying iron-on vinyl. But yeah, it seemed to work out pretty well, huh? And it saved me a ton of time because whenever I mess around with Adobe, I end up ripping my hair out and spending hours going down the rabbit hole of checking YouTube videos and all that other good stuff. So pretty sweet stuff. If you like this project, make sure to follow me and check out my blog, DIYDanielle.com. Take care. Bye.